The expression life happens. We all experience challenges in life, but in this brutal winter weather or a loss of difficult transitions.
Resilience is how we adapt to and recover from tough times. So how do we cope during times of stress and build that resilience to weather whatever comes next in life?
We welcome back Dr. Christine Whelan, a clinical professor at the UW School of Human Ecology. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
How can we get through this winter?
I know. So whether it's, the seasonal affective disorder that is setting in for so many of us and that just overwhelm at the ice in the winter, or whether it's more serious traumas and losses, life happens. We all face really difficult things in our lives. And how we get through it is a matter of resilience. So resilience is how we both adapt to and recover from trauma, how we deal with the tough times in life. And sometimes we think, oh, well, either you have it or you don't. But actually, we can build resilience, and we can learn strategies to be more resilient in those tough times.
I always say that, when you're dealing with stuff, there are people out there who are like, oh my gosh, you're so strong, you do this. But I say it's okay to break down. You have to go through that whole brokenness and go through all of that to get out to the other side, to be resilient.
Absolutely.
Am I off on this?
No. So resilience is not about not feeling your feelings during trauma. In fact, it's the opposite, really. There are two ways that we deal with stress. One is called problem-focused coping. And that's where you say, okay, listen, I have a problem. I'm going to make a list of things I need to do. I am going to set goals, and I'm going to fix this problem. And that's really, really great. But there's another part we have to engage in as well, and that's emotion-focused coping, where we actually feel our feelings and say, my brain exists in a body. This physically hurts. This emotionally hurts. This tough time is really taking a toll. And with all of these things, no man is an island. We all need each other. And that's an interesting thing that we see in resilience research, is that the single most important reason why people are resilient and can grow their resilience is relationships. If you have someone to talk to and help support you through the tough times.
So you can build up resiliency.
Absolutely. So one way to build up resiliency is to make sure you have strong relationships. Another way to build up resilience is to sort of think going forward, as before you get into one of those situations, what might I need? And one of the things that we need is the ability to feel our feelings and to be present in the moment. So whether it's mindfulness or whether it's a compassion meditation exercise, kind of getting comfortable with yourself and various different emotions before the big one hits can really help. We never know when a bad thing is going to happen in our lives, but we also don't have to think about it as only that bad thing. We have these regular stressors all day, every day going on, right? Whether it's the fact that, there's a ton of ice out there, whether it's the fact that, someone's being kind of irritating at work. And so having some resilience to roll with things as they come in and acknowledge that the stress is real, but you can move through it, that's a very empowering position as well.
How do you support somebody who might be going through a tough time?
So one of my favorite things to tell people about this is don't ask, what can I do?
Really?
Don't ask, what can I do? Just do something. Whether it is showing up with a meal, whether it's saying, listen, I'm going to take you on this activity. Don't give the person who is struggling another thing to think about, like how you can help them. Actually just go out there and help them. Also, really just listening and saying, I'm right here, right now, I'm here to talk about anything. If you want to talk about what's bothering you, I'm here to listen. If you want to talk about, sports or the weather, I can talk about that too.
So don't necessarily try to console the person.
No, people will tell you what they need, and especially in those tough times, and often in the moment of real trauma, there's no consoling anybody. We've just got to be right there with it. We've got to feel the onslaught of those terrible feelings.
I think we've all been there at one point or another.
I always say hold the space for the person, just to allow them to be.
And I think my second bit of advice on that is the person won't forget the trauma. So you feel free to say, how are you doing, whether it's weeks or months or years later, because they're not going to forget. And so you don't have to pretend like it never happened and walk on eggshells and worry about bringing it up. Actually being there for them sometimes means remembering an anniversary of someone's passing, remembering that this is a particularly tough holiday for somebody. we can all be there and support as a community.
And spring is coming.
And spring is coming.
The
Oh,
ice-
please,
the ice will
please.
melt.
Yes. Metaphorically and in reality,
Yes,
the ice will melt.
Thanks for being with us again.
Thanks so
and
much.
Congratulations on your TED Talk.
Oh, why, thank you. I appreciate it.
And online?
Yes, I'll put it
kind of a
online
big
soon.
deal.
She's a big deal now.
Thank you, guys. It's good to be here.
Good
Thanks.
to have you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Right back to the final check here.